I'm Adam Woodgate. I've been around a long time. I started in TV in 1989, so I've seen a lot of change in this time. I currently head up research at the Insights family, which is Manchester-based. We're the only company in the world to continually globally track kids aged 3 to 18, and we never stop our surveying. So we're surveying now in all the countries we research, and we've never stopped, so we've got a lot of data. There's a QR code at the end if you would like the presentation, so by all means photograph away, but you can grab the presentation for nothing. So yes, this is us, this is where we cover. It's the G20 basically, plus a couple of other countries. When I sort of started encountering AI, when someone said to me, make an AI Christmas card, which was just around COVID time, I sort of thought, this is interesting. And for someone who was born in 1967, and sort of has seen a lot of media change, gone from this country being 4 radio stations and 3 TV channels to the world we live in today, I thought this is going to be fascinating. So for our talk this morning, we're going to look at the current landscape, the content creation revolution. We're going to move through the challenges we really have to address. This is a real important time. Implications and the opportunities that we face, and more importantly, what we can do as an industry. And it's got to be collaborative. The data I'm sharing is a mishmash. It's our continuous survey, which you've just seen, which at some points is 11,000 kids globally. But then we also did a 7-question survey, which was to 526 6 to 15-year-olds in the UK, and a bit of data from that. The amazing thing is there's so much data that came out of this that we're going to do a white paper after this on this because we think it's really kind of important. So, the Space Invaders moment. Who's old enough to remember playing Space Invaders? Well, if you can remember, actually, do you know what? I'm going to stop there. I was originally going to do this as a whole AI presentation because I want to be next door in the tween session because it's a fascinating audience, so I'll have to watch that one catch up. Anyway, back to the moment. I am here, and this is me. So you witnessed really the dawn of AI. These little creatures that came for you, and this little shooter that were coming down for you, were all controlled by an early form of AI. But that trickle that started back in the 80s when we're all in arcades, gaming arcades, has become a tsunami. And AI is no longer the niche novelty. It now powers platforms, it powers experiences, and it shapes how kids today are learning and are creating. So if we look at today now, and I've just pulled up the front cover of The Last of Us, which obviously successfully turned into a TV show. You know, games like Pokemon Go brought augmented reality to the masses, while platforms like Roblox enable kids to co-create using Roblox Studio. Major franchises are leveraging AI. You know, if we think we've got here The Last of Us that features reactive and unpredictable enemies. You've got FIFA 25 that uses AI to make the experience of playing the game much more real and lifelike. And Call of Duty Mobile integrates AI-driven bots for immersive training and multiplayer experiences. And sorry, the reason I'm reading my notes is because otherwise we'll be here for a day. So it's not a gradual evolution. It's a rapid transformative shift, and kids are not waiting for us or the industry. They're not waiting for adults or the industry to catch up. They're already embracing and adapting the AI to their needs and their digital worlds. Just as gaming began and changed entertainment in the 70s and 80s, AI is now redefining the entertainment landscape with children leading the charge. So Gen A, no, my colleagues here have already given you a profile. You know, they're a fascinating generation. The thing is, this generation do not see technology or AI as technology. It's seen simply the normal way the world works now. They crave content that's immersive, interactive, adaptive, and deeply personal. And it's our responsibility to meet them where kids are, not where we think kids should go. Raised with touchscreens instead of paper, they're mobile first, visually orientated, and inherently digital. I'm not telling you anything new. But unlike older generations like me who've had to learn technology, often dragging and screaming, Gen Alpha have only ever known a connected world. Just as they consume content through platforms like YouTube and TikTok, they're now reshaping the creativity, their learning, their self-expression, all through AI platforms. This shift isn't just about the new tools, it's about a new mindset, where kids that see themselves as active participants in shaping the stories and expect content that responds to them in real time. So let's have a look at the landscape. What can we see? So this is our global data. We put it into pan regions. And the amazing thing is around 2/5 of kids around the world are excited about what AI offers. So despite debates amongst us as adults, most children see AI as a real opportunity, a positive that they can embrace. And that openness is not just limited to the West, it's all over the countries that we survey. And more importantly, that it is continuing to grow. It's compared to a year ago, pan-regionally, aside from China and the North Asia region, which I've taken out, where the growth isn't significant, we're seeing significant growth in kids, looking forward to what AI has to offer for them. And when we look at the UK specifically, and take a kid's perspective, they're more than ready for AI. Even among the youngest age group, excitement is high. We've got 47% of kids in the UK who's aged 6 to 8 who are excited about AI. Children in this age group are naturally curious and playful, and they're eager to explore, and they want to see what AI can do for them. They see it not as a threat, but as a friendly helper, almost like a homework buddy. You get a sense that they trust it instinctively with little skepticism, and remember, they see AI not as technology, but as the way the world works. There are gender nuances, we know that, and I don't want to get into the nature-nurture debate, but girls already at this stage are beginning to show thoughtfulness and critical thinking about the way AI works, whereas boys, it's the shortest point between A and B. How can I solve a problem now? Help me out quick. So these young digital natives are candidate for content that nurtures imagination, learning, and emotional development. The opportunity lies in designing safe, age-appropriate AI-powered experiences that spark curiosity and creativity rather than confusion, and empower kids to engage with AI in ways that are meaningful and inspiring. As we move on to the preteen audience, we start to see a little bit of a shift. They're entering the builder phase. They're still full of curiosity, but beginning to channel it into confident, hands-on exploration. They're no longer just playing with AI, they're beginning to build with it. This shift from casual interest to intentional use sees them actively seeking creative platforms, educational content, and tools that let them experiment and express themselves. AI is increasingly filling the gaps that their parents and teachers can't by supporting learning, productivity, and creativity. This group shows a strong desire for educational partnerships, and girls are especially drawn to AI that brings a sense of ease and efficiency, while boys are finally starting to develop and demonstrate deeper critical thinking, asking how and why AI works like it does. There is high potential segment for guided yet open-ended AI experiences, again, that empower safe exploration, practical creativity, and meaningful real-world experiences. And when we look at the young teens, we really see an audience that doesn't see AI as a threat at all, but as a strategic tool for empowerment. Over half say they're excited about it, and they're already integrating it into their learning, their self-expression, their everyday problem solving. And this age group is least likely to fear AI, and the most likely to recognize the long-term potential. They're ready to engage with deeper themes like ethics and autonomy and real-world applications, making them contenders for sophisticated and purpose-driven content. Girls often view AI as a tool for managing all aspects of life, from academic to stress relief, while boys are channeling it into a burst of creative exploration, often alongside growing awareness of mental well-being. And then let's have a look at the use and see how many kids are already using it. Here we see 51% of boys aged 6 to 8, 51% of boys aged 13 to 15 are using it. But around 2/5, 2 in 5, 2/5, 6 to 8 and 9 to 12-year-olds, girls are using AI. And then when we look at those who intend to use it in the next 3 months, we see another 14% potentially of girls aged 6 to 8 moving into AI soon. The horse has bolted. And anyone related to the kids space, whether that's industry, programmers, regulators, lawmakers, just have to catch up to where kids already are, as opposed to debating whether they should be even in there. Many kids are engaging with AI regularly, and they're doing so in a landscape without clear guidelines and guardrails, or expectations for that matter. This is the urgent gap we need to close. This is not to slow them down, but to ensure their experience with AI is safe, informed, and empowering. You sense a rising demand for kids-safe, creative AI tools and content that can both inform and entertain. And here's the rub. How many kids generally know that they're using AI? There's so many platforms that have AI built in that they don't even know they're already using it. So there's this awareness problem. It's deeply embedded in their digital lives already. I've seen kids try and break voice assistants. They use it for chatbots, for filters, for recommendation engines, auto-captioning. Yet so many kids wouldn't describe that as AI. And this high usage paired with low awareness creates a significant literacy gap. For many years, I've talked about the fact schools need to teach media literacy, but they still don't. And we've now got AI, another thing that schools need to teach. Kids are navigating powerful tools like this without any context, while creators are designing for an audience largely unaware with what's happening behind the screen. And this presents us with a dual challenge and a crucial responsibility. AI isn't a future skill, it's a present necessity. Content creators can acknowledge that AI is already part of children's lives, integrate it intentionally, and focus on helping kids shift from passive users, which my colleagues talked about a minute ago, to empowered, informed participants who have an expectation that the media they engage with and the entertainment they consume is very much immersive and interactive. So let's have a look at the revolution. So I started my career on the left-hand side of the chart. And over my life, I've seen this disruption. First of all, the internet changed who controls access to content. Then social media, at a basic level, a one-dimensional level, if you like, through forums and blogs, allowed kids to create through text. That eventually moved into video and photos, and then into gaming. Mobile screens meant that entertainment suddenly didn't need to live in the living room or in the bedroom. It came with us. Streaming video created a sense that anything and everything can be there in our palm, either on demand or if it's in the moment, you can watch it. Each of those disruptions has transformed how media content is created and consumed, but AI is the first of those disruptions to reshape every single access at once. It's always available, it's personalized, emotionally responsive, and it's blurring the lines between viewer, creator, and the character. So by combining control, creativity, mobility, access, and now personalization, AI doesn't just alter how content is experienced, it redefines who gets to create it. And unlike past disruptions, AI has the unique power to impact content, creation, distribution, interaction simultaneously, making it a truly all-encompassing force in the evolution of media. So this isn't just about consumption anymore. Kids are becoming creators. You've heard of the expression, we're in the attention economy. We're also in the engagement and the creation economy at the same time. And the barrier between audience and content maker is disappearing. AI isn't just changing what kids consume, it's transforming what they create. So look at some more data from the survey we ran just in the UK. And we can see that around a third of daily usage across all groups means AI is becoming habitual, with little difference in usage by gender. Content needs to integrate with these consumption patterns and not compete against them. It's not a novelty, it's a habit for a growing segment of 6 to 15-year-olds. If we look at fun, kids are chatting with their AI and building emotional connections. It's not just a tool. More than 2/5 of boys with more boys than girls claiming that they use AI just for fun. They're chatting with it, they're playing with it and engaging with it out of curiosity as well as entertainment. This shift positions AI as a digital companion, opening exciting opportunities for character-driven content and narrative-rich experiences. But at the same time, it underscores the need for thoughtful design ethics and strong social-emotional safeguards to ensure these interactions are safe and that they're developmentally appropriate. AI has quickly become a go-to assistant for learning, where search engines once ruled. In one of our questions in our data, we asked where kids search for content, and it's a question we've run for years. And search engine is going down, AI is going up. And when we ask kids why, they tell us it's because we don't get bombarded with adverts, we don't get bombarded with deflection. We want to find something, it tells us the answer. It does warn us, and they're very aware that AI can make mistakes, but they know that, they're aware of it. So over half of 6 to 15-year-olds, leaning towards more boys than girls, use AI for homework, even though schools say we'll scan it through an AI scanner, and if you go above a certain percentage, we'll reject the homework. They still will risk it. This growing reliance highlights the urgent need for AI tools to be educationally sound, to be transparent and age-appropriate. It also presents a major opportunity for educational media to align with this behavior by integrating AI tutoring and supportive features. It's possible that producers who fail to adapt could be bypassed entirely as children increasingly turn directly to AI for academic support. And kids are no longer just passive audiences. Again, my colleagues said that in the first presentation. They want to be part of the entertainment. They want to be active creators. They may never go on to be the producers and directors of the future, but they just want to have a play. It's no different to the kid who gets the paint pots out, the felt tip crayon, and the wax crayons. They just naturally, it's part of the things they love to do. Especially those kids who love to express themselves and share their imagination with others. Around 1 in 5 children are already making and sharing their own content. Now, that sharing may only be within a closed ecosystem of family or close friends, but they're still sharing it. So the line between viewer and creator is fading as AI makes it easier, faster, and more intuitive for kids to express themselves through video, through stories, through music, and interactive media. This shift is especially impactful across entertainment, learning platforms, and user-generated content ecosystems. And AI is flattening the creative curve by removing technical barriers and empowering more young users to build, publish, and participate. If you think anyone who remembers the 2-inch videotape sitting in editing suites knows that you can now do it, everything on a laptop or on your phone. It's amazing, the change. And then when we look at the tools, these tools are unlocking a new wave of creativity. Kids are elevating their ideas, publishing and sharing their work, and iterating with purpose. They're not waiting for permission. They're already creating this content. Today's generation doesn't just consume, they co-create. They have Roblox, they have YouTube, they have TikTok, all of which have built-in features that help them make their own content. They are AI native creators, and perhaps an option for content companies is to partner with them and not just market to them. The implication for our industry is clear. It's time to build safe tools and platforms with age-appropriate narratives that empower co-creation, collaboration, and creative confidence, because that's where the future is being made. So YouTube, with around, on the left-hand side again, this is our global data, around between 57, so around 3 out of 5 have daily usage. TikTok ranges from around 4 in 10 to 6 in 10 in terms of daily usage, and game platforms around 2/5. They're the front lines for AI integration. These ecosystems where kids already spend much of their time, and where AI features are most likely to be embedded, scale and evolve quickly. For kids, media and entertainment, focusing on integration efforts where they matter most, meeting kids where they are and finding meaningful, responsible ways to enhance their experiences with AI. Platform behavior matters, and understanding these enhancements is key to designing the AI that truly resonates. Anyone who's been in media understands this. It kind of just shows the contrast between the AI-enabled kid that can think of an idea, and within 12 hours have it uploaded, sharing with their target audience. Contrast that with traditional broadcast or media, where maybe it's a 12 months, 18 months, 2-year production cycle because of things that are locked in and baked in because that's the way it works. These guys are pumping out the relevant stuff. You said Mr. Beast was so popular. he lives in this zone. He lives down here, he's relevant, he's talking about what's hot with kids. Unless you're making live TV, it's very hard for the traditional production companies to get into that space. So, the challenges we must face. So, we asked a question, do you think AI can make life better for kids and teens? And this is kind of how it maps out. And you can see the green area is the positive, yes, and it's around 50% or more. You've got the not sures, the fence sitters at the bottom. Very few kids are saying they don't see it as being positive for kids. And then we asked them about their world, and this scared me. So these are some of the verbatim comments they said. You know, they're not just passive recipients of AI, they're engaged, curious, and in many cases remarkably sophisticated users. You know, 8-year-olds referring to large language models as LLMs is scary. 13-year-old boys undergoing creative revolution with AI tools. So it's clear they're not just dabbling. And and we had so many comments about it, and I just picked a few. Meanwhile, contrast that with the adult world, where kids already engaging with AI, often in bedrooms, often out of sight of parents, but yet lawmakers, regulators, we're all sitting around chatting like we did when streaming came along, like we did when the internet came along. It really is, you know, a moment in time. You know, there is a strategic imperative and a responsibility opportunity. We have to do something. We have to be ahead of the curve with this one. So there is some negativity. It's a small but vocal minority of kids who express concerns around AI. And they're certainly not anti-technology. They're not digital deniers in any way. Their worries are reflective. They're thoughtful values. Girls more likely to raise issues around emotional well-being, authenticity, and safety, while boys point to fears of job loss or diminished creativity. They're not simplistic anxieties. In fact, they mirror the same debates as adults we're probably having. They're just surfacing them earlier. And for content creators, this 8% of minorities signals what meaningful AI literacy must include. Not just how to use AI, but how it might change us. Their concerns highlight critical content gaps, stories that explore what makes us human in a world so influenced by algorithms. And here's the warning, if nearly more than 9 out of 10 kids are largely uncritical in their optimism of AI, we have a responsibility to build more nuanced awarenesses in our content before the risks outpace our understanding. And here's the thing, 1 in 4 kids have not spoken to an adult. So the red bars are the number of kids who've spoken to an adult about AI. Yet compared to that, this is the amount of daily use and weekly use of AI. So who do they turn to? Here's my first AI image. Yeah, hope you like it. Right. It's pretty basic, but it does the trick. Who do they turn to? They turn to their trusted the people they trust in their world, teachers, friends, parents. And interestingly, more girls turn to teachers than boys. But here's the issue that we have, the ethical implications when it comes. And this is not AI, I tried to design this, but it's my iceberg. And I think we can all figure out the obvious ethical issues around AI, such as too long on screens, you know, YouTube serving just another video that makes, or TikTok to serving another video that makes the kids stick around, or the inappropriate content issue, which I think they're obvious, but as with all icebergs, there's more worrying stuff below the surface. So the first one is, do kids understand that when they're creating stuff, even though they may not be registered on the AI platform, that platform is learning everything they do? Do they get that? Do they get that it's figuring this out? So you're asking me to create that image that I created of parents and kids and teachers. It's learning that. The next thing is, do they understand that AI is crawling the internet at infinite speed to kind of find these images? You know, that was not just made up by Midjourney. That is somewhere, and it's just adapted it based on my prompt. So do they get that what they think is their own original content isn't original? Then you've got the skills illusion gap. Do they think now that they're great creators because they can create an image? Do they think that they've solved the image problem? They don't need to learn that, so they'll move over here. And then the echo chamber. The issue of the algorithms reinforce the biases. So I think there's some big things under the gap. And everyone has a role to play in shaping how children engage with AI platforms. That's parents, educators, and the media industry alike. We can't assume someone else will handle safety, ethics, or education. From embedding AI literacy into the content that we create and clearly disclosing how AI is used, to teaching teachers AI ethics, we need a collaborative, age-appropriate approach. It's not just about protecting kids, it's about preparing them. So last home run of the presentation, let's have a look at the future implication. So this really tells the story of the kid who does certain activities. So the YouTube kid, 68% of kids use YouTube at least once a week in our data. So they're more likely to use AI on a daily basis, that's 72%. And with the AI, they're either likely to create photos, play video games, or creating video games, and then use AI to tell stories. And 80% of this group are more likely to go on to publish it or share it in some form. And you've got the same with gaming. People ask why gaming's lower than video. Gaming will always be lower than video. Video you can watch for 30 seconds, 2 minutes at the bus stop. They're very unlikely to go on Roblox for just 30 seconds or 2 minutes. So you'll always get a lower number there. Every touch point in a kid's AI journey needs scaffolding, and it requires a coordinated, multi-stakeholder response and not fragmented efforts. There are clear immediate, medium, and long-term actions for parents, platforms, and industry. In the short term, we need to build transparent labeling to raise awareness. Parents don't need deep technological understanding of AI, but they do need to be somewhere in the conversation. Medium term, we must support co-experiencing and supervision to help children navigate AI-powered spaces with guidance. And long term, we must equip young people with ethical thinking, curiosity, and digital literacy as part of their reimagined approach to being digital citizens. And so, last couple of slides, the choices that we face. So, kids media has a unique opportunity right now. It'd be great to get on the front foot for once and lead by example by showing and not just telling how AI works, how it should be used, perhaps with storylines that model responsible AI use to behind-the-scenes content that makes creation processes transparent to kids. Children's content can help demystify AI in the way that old enough to remember Tomorrow's World demystified technology. AI can be shown as a tool to support our lives and what we do in our lives rather than a magic solution for everything. Specific opportunities include educational content that helps kids recognize when AI is being used, characters who engage thoughtfully with AI, and workflows that openly integrate AI into age-appropriate things. Now is the time to move beyond the conversation and start demonstrating responsible, creative, and ethical AI use in the media that children consume every day. And as AI shapes the children's media landscape, the opportunity and responsibility lies with us to lead integration through thoroughly and thoughtfully and ethically. We see 5 strategic pillars of action: transparency, standards, literacy, collaboration, and insight. Transparency means building trust through clear AI disclosures, behind-the-scenes explainers, and visible cues that help kids and parents understand how AI is being used. Standards demand internal guidelines and industry-wide benchmarks that put child safety and privacy and creativity first. Literacy calls for integrating AI education across content, characters, and curriculum, empowering kids to think critically and not just use the tools passively. And collaboration is essential. No one sector can do this alone. So we must unite media, we must unite people in the kids space, platforms, educators, and parents to shape safe, ethical experiences. And finally, I'm going to use your plug again, insight has to underpin it all. Ongoing research into how kids interact with AI will ensure our strategies evolve with kids. If content creation, audience engagement, and innovation are the engines of this industry, then responsible AI leadership must be the fuel. It's time to act, not as a reaction to risk, but as a commitment to kids' creativity and safety in the future. So thank you very much. I hope you really enjoyed the presentation. There's the QR code. Feel free to download it. And as a spoiler, as I said, so much data was gathered, we're going to put a white paper together as a thought piece, because 30 minutes, oh, and it is bang on 30 minutes, doesn't give you long enough to talk through everything that we had. So thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.